find this exercise super freeing. So I really, really encourage you to do it. I love practicing with the delay pedal because it always sounds like music. And especially with something like the chromatic scale, we like to think that's not really music. That's just a scale. That's just a theoretical thing. But you can do super hip things with the chromatic scale. You can use it for walking because chromatic notes are approach notes. So whenever I do something in half steps, it gives my line direction. So especially, see, when I do a walking bass like this, I can play a whole walking bass, always just chromatically approaching my next root. So I play root, approach, 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 root, approach, 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 root, right? It's just one way to do a walking bass. We'll talk about that at some later occasion as well. But the reason why I think it's really important to practice all these scales and concepts in a musical way is because they do occur and you can have so much fun with them. And if you know where to go on the fretboard, you're golden. So I love practicing all these concepts with the delay pedal. Paul Hansen, my duo partner, does incredible things with the delay pedal. And I looked over his shoulder a little bit, but it always sounds musical. So this is the setting that I use for the delay pedal. It's a dotted eighth note. I have the delay sound on delay line. So don't use dynamic because what you want is that the delayed note sounds as much as the original note that you're playing. So I would keep the mix exactly in the middle, 50-50, and the mod level on 0, no modulation at all. The color just between analog and digital, and the feedback needs to be on 0 so that you get one delay only. Okay, so I'm playing one note. Oops. And in order for this to sound hip, you want to play the notes short. So I'm going to demonstrate what I'm going to do. I'm going to just have a heck of a fun time just playing a chromatic scale. And it's so freeing because it's the chromatic scale. There are no wrong notes. Right? And everything you do, you can move. In any interval you like, just keep it the same. There are no wrong notes, right? So just go for it. I find it an incredibly freeing exercise. There's no tonal center. There's no chord symbol. Right now that we're talking about, I just want you to explore the way your bass sounds if you use all the notes on the bass. And by using the delay pedal, I can do that. And it's a symmetric scale. So anything you find that you like, you can move up in multiples of the interval by which the scale is symmetric. And this scale is symmetric by the minor second. So you can move it any old way. So pick any kind of amount of steps. Officially, we haven't learned the other intervals yet, but just pick 2 frets, 3 frets, 4 frets, and just keep moving it around. Just keep it consistent and it'll sound cool. I can do things like move things across strings. I can do you can come up with the most outrageous thing and it's always going to sound great, right? You have no obligation to any kind of tonal center. If there is a tonal center, you will want to know how the chromatic notes sound different than the notes that are part of the scale that would be spelling out the chord. We'll get to all of that. But this is just to say, you can use chromatics even if there are tonal centers. But I think it's really important to know what the notes in the tonal center are, how they sound if I use those, and what it sounds like if I use the chromatic fare, which has a completely different flavor, okay? But I think it's a wonderful thing to do, to just kick in a delay pedal and just go crazy. You are allowed to do anything as outrageous as it is, and that pedal is gonna make it sound great no matter what you do. Okay, so have fun with that. I hope that gives you some ideas. It's great if you're a beginner. It's great if you're advanced. You'll have your fingers will be ready to do some fun stuff. There are also good technical exercises, as you're seeing. And right now I have a tempo of 120 on my delay pedal. You can take that way down. Tempo 100. I'll play you what that sounds like. So the rhythmic value of the delay pedal is the dotted eighth note. So what happens is I play a note and then a dotted eighth later comes the delay. Now I'm going to try to place another note right in between so that I play a note, note, delay. And so what I get is this continuous rhythm of 16th notes. And it takes a little bit of practice to just sort of get the hang of it so that when the delay comes back at you, you feel that pulse. You can step on it just for fun, and then you let it run again. Another tip when you're playing with the delay pedal is make the notes short, because the nature of the delay is that if you make them sustained, it'll sound like this. And then it's much harder to find where the rhythm is. So make them short. And then you get much better effect. Things that sound cool, by the way, is you play one note short, low, the other one's high, or the other way around. Okay, that's another thing that's fun.